to the show, everybody. It's so good to be here with all of you today. And we're in the middle. We're right now. So many of my students just finished their senior year, finishing their senior year, ready to go off to college, got into fantastic schools. I've been starting with a whole new group of students applying to medical school and college and MBA programs. And we've been receiving so many emails with so many questions. And my team and I decided this week to focus on a very important topic that a lot of you have been writing in about, and that is about internships. To take all the questions together is, Mr. Buffer, what about internships? What's the proper way to view internships? Do they help with college admissions? And I want to tackle that question today. Very important one from the perspective of admissions officers whom I speak to and what I've seen from my students who've done internships and have other relevant experiences in the summer or during the school year. First thing I want to say about internships, very, very important, is that as you hear me say about so many other things that you could do in high school, just doing them doesn't matter. It's what impact you make when you're there. Why? Because a college is going to say, with your internship or anything else you do, what benefit are we going to have as a university by letting this student in? And so many of you have been asking for examples. So I want to talk to you an example with one of my students. He got an internship at Bank of America through his father and his uncle who worked there. And he spent the summer at Bank of America basically putting filing, doing basic work, passing time, doing okay, put it on his resume. And his father and uncle, came to see me later. He wasn't in my college planning program. They came to see me later and asked me about it, and they said, how come it didn't help him so much for colleges? And I said, because I'm looking at what he wrote about on his resume, and he really didn't do much that is impactful. They're just passing time and doing an internship, even if it's something prestigious. It doesn't hold as much weight as doing something that you think is less prestigious but making an impact. An example of that is I had a student a few years ago, Maya, fantastic girl, did an internship at a local nonprofit, amazing. And she did something remarkable. She noticed that their food inventory system was chaotic. They weren't keeping track of what was coming in, what was going out. She was a computer science aspirant. She created a whole amazing system for them using Google Sheets and all this programming she did. And it was amazing. And they used it even after she left. And the regional director of the nonprofit wrote her an amazing letter. She won an award and got recognition for the impact she made on this nonprofit. And it was such an efficient system that kept such good track of food. It helped increase donations. It showed impact. And what college is not going to say, wow, of course you want to hear at this school, at our institution, because she's going to do similar things here. And that's the idea and that we want for our students. And when I encourage them to do an internship, don't just go and pass time. Go and make an impact. Do something significant when you're there. Gain recognition when you're there, and get a letter from someone showing what you've done. That will hold amazing credibility. The Common Application and some school-based applications allow you to have outside recommenders. If you get one, not just shows you did it, you did a good job, but you changed something, you found a problem, you tackled it. That is the proper perspective on internships, okay? And when you do an internship that shows that it's aligned with your aspirations, that you spent your summer doing doing something you care about, that was aligned with your passions and your desired major, it will show how much you weren't just going there because you thought it would be a resume builder. You went there because you're truly passionate about your area. And this girl, Maya, I was speaking of, amazing student, was admitted to multiple Ivy League schools. She chose to spend her summer doing for this nonprofit, handling their computer science work, their background work, and it was so much more than she did so much more than what was expected of her, not just record keeping. Again, she created this amazing system, and it was aligned with her area. And college admissions officers see that If you're that passionate about your major that you went to spend a summer doing it, not just at a place to get a name recognition on your resume, that looks absolutely amazing. So that was something that, because if you have a internship at a company or doing something that's not related to your aspirations, it can actually weaken your application's coherence, because then it looks like, why is this not aligned? Why is this person who is a medical aspirant doing an internship at a congressman's office or a congresswoman's office or at something? Because you think it's prestigious, but why did you spend your summer pursuing your passions? How is a college supposed to think you're passionate about your field? Because universities want students who are passionate about their field. They want students who are very high aspiration and love their, because those are students that become leaders, that succeed in their field, that stick with their major and become good examples for others. That's who top schools want. We're talking Ivy League, near Ivy, top schools. This is what they're going to look for, how you spent your summers. Matter of fact, many of the colleges, top schools, one of their supplemental essays is, how did you spend your summer? Tell us, they want to see, did you pursue with your interest, and they try to come up with a story, your academic story. If you very early on in 9th grade, 10th grade had for instance, you told a story that I just found this spark and this passion for business, the stock market. I joined FBLA, I joined DECA, I started a stock market club, and then in the summer I did an internship at Morgan Stanley. I taught what I learned there to other high school students. It shows how much you must be really passionate about your field, and universities want people, as they build their communities. You always hear me say, colleges, top schools are not letting in individuals, they're building communities. And who makes a great member of a community? Someone who's super passionate about their field. Okay? That's who makes a great member of a community. So this is a piece I want you all to keep in mind. You're listening, do internships that fit with your story. And another key part about internships, secrets you should know about internships, and mistakes people make with internships that I don't let my students make, is doing an internship, doing something in the summer, and your guidance counselors, your teachers who write your recommendation letters know nothing about it. Okay? They can help speak about it and gives credence to what you say in your resume, in your activities. If they know about it and they're impressed with your impact, it can show a cohesive and consistent story. So make sure everybody knows about it, your internships that you've done, your summer internships, the impact you've made when you're there, and they know, and you're telling the people writing your recommendation letters. If you've listened to my show, you've heard me say that recommendation letters are a very important part of this process, because they give admissions officers a glimpse of how the people who see you every day, 180 days a year, how they perceive you, and it gives them a glimpse of who you're going to be on campus. Okay? Past behavior is the best indication of future behavior. You're not starting from zero in your application. Colleges are looking back at your last 3 years. Okay? Okay? And just remember, an internship cannot replace poor grades, poor scores. What it can do is, like you always hear me say about a personal statement, is it elevates your application. If your application and your essays and your classes show a passion and a deep commitment to learning more about business and want to go into the business field, you have an entrepreneurial story, whatever your story is, your internship, your summer should elevate that, not replace it, not compensate for it. It gets a great admissions officers look at a story you've telling about your application, and when I work with students, I help them craft a special strategy, a special story that is just their unique story flavor, what they bring to the university, and a good internship on your application, written about in your recommendation letters, referred to in your essays, can elevate your application, doesn't replace it. Okay? That's a very, very important part of understanding how to properly perceive internships. So when you think about your internship, when you think about everything you're doing, just remember, the source of the internship is not as important as your contribution once you're in the internship. I had one of my students last year. He volunteered. His whole story in his essay was about Boy Scouts. Amazing. He did amazing. But he spent the summer at one of the Boy Scout headquarters here in New Jersey, and he created this whole system to improve recruiting. The recruiting improved because of him, made an impact, and he got a letter from the regional director, somebody really high up in the Boy Scouts, and helped his application so much. was admitted to a top business school in Carnegie Mellon. So, fantastic story. And when you can show that you weren't just marking time, you made an impact. Universities are going to, admissions officers are going to say, we want that student here, because top schools, Ivies, near Ivies, don't care about your connections, who got you. Many of the top internship students get sometimes at a big company. They get because they have connections, and parents wonder, why did this not get them in? Colleges aren't comparing who did the most, who had the most internships, who had the most volunteering hours. They're saying who had the most impact the last 3.5 years during high school and summers. And who's going to make a similar impact here at Yale, here at Cornell? Who's going to do that? That's what we're going to assess. Not by who did the most, but who had the most significant impact in the environments they were in, using the resources they had. Colleges care more about what you contributed, not your connections. Not your connections. So for all of you who are wondering, how can I best spend my summer? Don't feel that if somebody gets an internship at a better company than you, a more prominent company, that they're going to necessarily get into a better university than you. That is not the case. That is not how things work for top schools. Okay? You're better off spending your summer, spending your time, even in the school year, doing volunteering, doing internships that allow you to not stand out by what the title of what you have, by the impact you made, and where you can get empirical verification of that impact through your resume, through your recommendation letters, outside letters, and your essays that will all be aligned with each other. Don't just mark time, make impact. You'll hear me say this over and over if you listen to the show. That's the secret about internships, and I hope that answers many of your questions that you emailed in about. And if you have more questions, feel free to send them in. Sign up to work with me. Join my college planning program. I'll be glad to work with all of you. We still have spots open for this admission cycle. Have a great day, everybody. It's great to be here with you today.